Hello everyone, welcome to Pushpa's English classes. Today we are going to revise the poem Fire and Ice, and while we do so, we'll also try to learn about poetic devices. I know you already know it, so it's kind of a revision for you all. So let's get started. In the poem Fire and Ice, the poet Robert Frost mentions that both fire and ice are probable ends of this world, can lead to destruction of the world. On one hand, he talks about how fire represents desire and can therefore be a cause of the end of the world. And on the other hand, he mentions about ice, which symbolizes cold and indifferent attitude towards one another, can also be enough to end the world. In the second stanza, the last few lines of the poem, he says that, he knows of enough hate in the world. So even destruction through ice would be sufficient to bring about the end of the world. So he's trying to put across that it is only through love and mutual understanding that we can establish peace in this world. Too much of fire and passion in any kind of relationship can consume a relationship. Similarly, cold indifference and hate can also be equally destructive. Let us try to read the poem so that we can figure out the rhyme scheme of the poem. You can also get question on the rhyme scheme of the poem. So let us first try to read the poem. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. For what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So now we'll try to understand the rhyme scheme of a poem. How do we mark that? So if you see the first line, the last word, some say the world will end in fire. You will mark fire as A. The second line, last word, some say in ice. Fire doesn't go with ice. So we'll put here B. The third line of the poem, for what I have tested of desire, fire, desire. So we'll write A. Even desire goes with fire. So it's A. See the second line, eyes goes with twice, so we have written B. Now see hate, it doesn't go with A or B, so we have to write here C, hate. Again eyes, that is B. Great, hate and great goes together, so it is C, C. Again eyes, suffice, that is B. So we see that the rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, A, the first three lines. The other three lines A, B, C, okay, and the last lines B, C, B is the rhyme scheme of the poem. So let's start with some of the poetic devices or figures of speech that we have in this poem, Fire and Ice. The first one that I could locate is anaphora. Anaphora is a rhetorical device, that features repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive statements, sentences, phrases, or clauses. That means a few words or phrases that are repeated in the beginning of a sentence, okay, or a phrase or a clause is called anaphora. In this poem, we have some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. So some say the same. Again, the down some say, these are the examples of anaphora. The same words repeated in a successive sentences. The next would be alliteration. We know what is the definition of alliteration, right? It is a repetition of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. Okay, so from this point we have I hold with those who favor fire. Favor fire, for sound, for F F. Then again, some say the world will end in fire. Some say S S sound, then W W, world will. This is an example of alliteration from the poem. Then let us try to understand the next figure of speech, that is personification. Personification is the attribution of a personal nature or human features to something non-human. When you try to attribute human features to something non-human or the representation of an abstract quality in human form, then it is personification. In this poem, both fire and ice have been personified, they have been the cause for the destruction of the world. The poet says that fire and ice both leads to destruction of the world, so they have the power to destruct the world, so they have been personified. So the next figure of speech that we have at our disposal is enjambment. So enjambment is that figure of speech when a line continues into the next line. Okay, for example, For what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. These two lines, is an example of enjayment, because if you read the lines properly, the first line is not complete. It does not give a sense without the second line of this particular example. For if I say, for what I have tasted of desire, okay, it doesn't make sense by itself. To make complete sense or to give us an idea, we have to go to the next line. That is, I hold with those who favor fire. So that is an example of enjayment when a line continues into the next line. So we have symbolism in our poem as well. What is symbolism? When a symbol is used to convey an idea or quality. So we know very well that in this poem, fire and ice stands for so many things. It symbolizes so many things. On one hand, we said that fire symbolizes greed, desire, passion, right? This is sufficient to end the world. Then again, the poet says that, I have seen enough of, hate, desire, everything. So I can say for sure that even ice can lead to destruction. For destructing the world, ice would also suffice. Ice here symbolizes, hatred that we have against, other person. Okay, indifference. How can one be indifferent to somebody else? Rigidity, they can also lead to destruction of the world. I hope you have understood the poem and the poetic devices. Do share the video with your friends. Like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and all the best for your exam.